Thank you very much, Acting Speaker, and it's a pleasure to rise on this Tuesday afternoon and make a contribution on the Justice Legislation Amendment Bill 2025. Acting Speaker, others before me on this side have gone over the changes in the bill that it makes, and as has been stated, they are relatively minor changes, but there is, of course, the one exception, and that being the change to the Magistrates Court criminal appeal processes, and to a larger degree the changes to the Crimes Act to clarify the trustee secret commission offence in response to recent court decisions. Now, Acting Speaker, in relation to the latter, the bill narrows the offence by requiring the relevant conduct to have been done with a dishonest or otherwise corrupt purpose, and can certainly understand the nature and the reasoning and the rationale behind that, and also removing the requirement for consent of beneficiaries of the Supreme Court. Now, Acting Speaker, I want to make a few comments on the delaying of the commencement of abolishing the de novo criminal appeals. And there's a bit of history to this that I'd like to touch on. In 2019, Member for Sandringham, the government proposed to abolish the current system of de novo criminal appeals from the Magistrates Court. 2019.
I think it's de novo.
Yeah, the reasons for this have been outlined, but the point I wish to make is that these changes that were made in 2019 were scheduled to come into force by no later than the 3rd of July 2021. 3rd of July 2021.
What happened?
Now, the default commencement date was pushed out to the 1st of January 2023, and that was when another bill came into this chamber, the Justice Legislation Amendment Act 2021. And the reason put forward was that the court system required more time to prepare for the change, as well as the impact of the COVID pandemic on the justice system. Now, in 2021, that sounds like a fair enough piece of commentary in 2021, because there was a little bit going on at that time. So the default commencement date was then postponed to the 5th of July 2025. And that was done courtesy of the Justice Legislation Amendment Bill 2022. So in 2022, we sat here, we agreed it was an election year, but we're going to put it out to 2025, give ourselves 3 years to get this job done. Now again,
It's a few years ago.
Despite this being post-COVID, Member for Sandringham, the government again blamed the pandemic and the need for additional resources to be provided to the courts. And in that commentary at the time, the Minister made the quote, said the quote that the ongoing effects of COVID-19 on the court system and the significant time and resources required to implement the reforms were key factors. Now, the key words there, the resources required to implement the reforms. But here we are again today, and this bill that is before us now seeks to again delay the time frame of implementation until July 1, 2028. So we started all that time ago, and now we've pushed it out to beyond another term of this government, almost 2 full terms of this government, and we haven't had it implemented. Now, the government claims that the impact of other criminal law reforms and resourcing requirements, again, that term pops up again, resourcing requirements, are driving the decisions, and noted that in light of the significant time and resources required to implement the summary appeal reforms, on top of these other reforms, it's necessary to further delay the commencement date for these changes. So in that commentary, in that commentary, over the 3 periods where we've delayed the term of the commencement date, we have noted that the rationale is the resources required aren't there. But here we are today, and at least, thank goodness, we've stopped blaming COVID. Incredible that almost 2 full terms away, and this hasn't been implemented. But I want to make a very valid point that was raised by the member for Malvern in his contribution, and that is that while we've had, each time this has been delayed, the references to resources being required, we've got a government that's currently cut funding to Court Services Victoria. Now, how can we blame a lack of resources required to implement these changes and then cut funding to Court Services Victoria? This is the fund that obviously funds Victoria's courts and tribunals. And what those reductions have been, and this is the government's own budget papers, not our commentary, the government's own budget papers, a $19.1 million cut in this current year, 2024-25, and cop this in the out years, a $58 million cut in the 2027-28 year. That is in the budget papers. But we've got a bill before